Good morning. So, yes, I'm having my tea, but I wanted to talk to my ladies today as I am just coming back and settling in from a girls' trip that was much needed, and just wanted to have some conversation around sisterhood, as that was one of the things that I reflected on while I was gone. And I felt like it was something that others would appreciate engaging or indulging in for conversation. And the premise that I want to start from mainly is support. And when I say support, I'm not necessarily talking about any specific one thing, just supporting each other in life. A lot of times, or oftentimes, when we have friends, associates, or other women that we encounter, and I'm just saying we, just in general, but not necessarily talking about any specific person. But we as women, when we encounter one another, the very first thing that we lead with is our perception of appearance before anything is said. And then what follows is what is said from a person, from a woman. Mainly, I'm focusing on Black women because it's a heavy topic that's not really spoke on or addressed in our community. So I wanted to focus on that today. And the perception that you may get from a person, either if it's right away, a first impression, or just something that you've built up over time, usually has everything to do with your own self and your own oneness and how you feel about your own self projected on someone else, whether it be good or bad. Because oftentimes if we have a good spirit, we're aligned, we're positive, and we're supportive of one another genuinely, we tend to lead with positively approaching another woman, complimenting them, understanding them as a person, even if there's someone new, trying to get to know them openly and not with any judgment, and just being in a peaceful setting, mentally and physically, and being present with the person that you're encountering, whether it be a group of women or just one individual. And then we have the opposite. When we're not whole, when we're not at peace with ourselves, when we're still trying to find self, which might I add is nothing wrong because we arrive at that destination at different times in our lives. And just having imbalance, whether it be in relationships, whether it be in work, whether it be with where we want to be in life, or just in general. And that sometimes can have everything to do with how we perceive someone that we meet, that we know, or that we've been friends with over time. And that can be a negative response because of how we feel internally about our own self. And that leads to being negative when a person talks to you all the time. Even if they try to speak goodness to you, you choose the negative route, projecting your feelings on them because you are imbalanced. So you make it seem like there's something wrong with how they are as a person. They're too happy. They're too friendly. They're too outgoing. They're too positive. And because your light isn't as bright as theirs may be, which once again is nothing wrong, you will see them negatively because you're feeling negative in your own spirit. And when you look at the two, what I will say is the best thing for us to do as women, as sisters, because that's what we are, and as just people, is sometimes to search within. And if you feel imbalanced, find a way, an outlet, someone to talk to. Find the Bible. Find something that will help you move yourself into a better mental space. I always say self-care is the best care, and it is so important for us to make sure we take the time to make for ourselves and make sure that we feel okay. Because projecting negativity on someone else, having silent competitions in your own head with someone else, and putting these stigmas on someone that does not deserve that type of interaction is just not fair. It really isn't. Just to plainly state. And you do yourself as a woman, as a Black woman, a disservice projecting negative things like that onto people when you don't align yourself or search within yourself to find peace, because you're not being a good sister. You're not being a good steward of God and making sure that we're pouring into each other as we should be doing ourselves when you project that negativity out on someone else. And it's just not fair. So what I encourage us to do as women is, for those that are aligned and that feel good internally and that are sisters and that genuinely support other women, other Black women, I say good for you. Keep it up. Keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. And if you see or are connected to someone that is like the opposite of that, take the time to try to help them. Speak to them. And everyone is not, might I add, going to be receptive to what it is that you have to say when you call them out on the things that you see that are imbalanced in their lives or the way that they are acting toward you. They're not always going to be receptive of that. And what I've learned in my own relationships with other women, other Black women, is to just give people space. Sometimes if you try to get a person to be a certain way, or even to encourage them to think differently, opposite of what they currently do, you may not always be winning in that moment or be winning in that time period or winning with that person. And that's okay. You can't hold yourself accountable for other people's feelings, thoughts, or issues. They're not yours. And I've learned and I've been growing in the way of, when I feel like I can't help, I've been trying to take a step back and to remove myself in some cases where I don't see any change, or to just take a step back and allow people to be exactly who it is that they are. You can't force a person to be like you. And that's something that as an adult, as a 34-year-old Black woman, that I'm still learning and still working on in my own life. Just working on understanding that everybody isn't like me. Everyone isn't the chipper, outgoing, upbeat, motivating, inspiring person all the time or any of the time. That may not just be who they are, and to accept that and to just move forward and not chastise them for it, but try to understand who they are, why they are the way they are, and just move forward and pray for them. And that usually is the best thing that you can do for anyone. But I just felt the need to have that conversation because it's so important to recognize and understand when you see these things happening, to speak on it. Sometimes someone else might be dealing with the same thing with their friends, or maybe the one being that person in that negative space, might I add, or just the uncertainty of who they are. And when they're in that moment and in that time, sometimes they don't know that they're being that way, or they don't know how to get out of that. And just being a friend, being understanding, calling them out in a dignified and a respectful way, so that there can be work done to self-correct, is the best service, the best stewardship, the best sisterhood, and the best friendship that you could ever pour into anyone that is in that type of space. I just really wanted to talk about that today because it is something that I've dealt with in the past, something that I've encountered in the present, and I'm sure it's something that I'm going to continue dealing with in the future. But I just think it's so important to highlight that no one woman is ever, ever, ever your competition. Your relationship is your own. Your motherhood and who it is as you are as a mother is your own. Whoever you are as a worker is your own. Who you are as a person, as a woman, as a Black woman in America is your own. No two people are ever going to be alike, not even twins. No two people are ever going to be alike in life. Everyone is going to have something unique about them, a light about them, or not, that is going to set them apart from the next person. Our uniqueness, our differences is what makes us special. And that's okay to be different. It's okay to support your girlfriend. It's okay to see her doing something that may be different from something that you're able to do, or a trait or characteristic that you may possess, and say, girl, you go ahead and do that. Or you go ahead and win. And I support you, genuinely support you. And not to feel diminished in her light, who she is as a person, and not to feel less in your own person because of something that someone else may possess that you may not. You may have a characteristic that sets you apart from someone else, that makes you special and different and unique. and wonderful, and all of the great things in life that help us become who we are and who we evolve to as we grow over time. And I really just wanted to take a moment out, or take a few moments out, to just really talk about that, because it's so important to unify, to be aligned with yourself and know who you are and be okay with who you are in your own skin and in your own body, in your temple that God blessed you with. And know that you are great, that you are wonderful beyond measure, and that your sister standing to the right or to the left or ahead of you is just as wonderful in her own ambience. Bask in whoever you are and the next person is, because God will always bless you for being genuine. It doesn't cost anything. It is free. And it is so rewarding to genuinely do that. And I really wish you guys well for the rest of your Wednesday. I felt like it was a nice topic to have, segueing from a girl's trip. And I really just wanted to take some time out to talk to my ladies today. I love you ladies. I love all my girlfriends. I love all the women that I may not have even met yet. I am a girl's girl, and I like to be supportive of any woman doing anything in her own right, evolving, growing, and becoming who it is that she should be in life. And I hope you are too. And if you're not, please find it in yourself to do the work to correct what it is that you feel so that you can feel better. Have a great day, ladies. Thanks for giving me your time. Peace.